Hey everyone, Brad from OCAM 4x4. Today we'll be installing a bull bar onto this 79 series cruiser. For the first part of the bumper removal, there's these 5 push clips here that we can use a simple flat blade screwdriver to pop them up and out, like that. For these front bolts here, you'll just need your 10mm socket with a ratchet, so we can undo them like so. Under the bumper, you've got 4 10mm bolts here. You'll grab your socket and you can undo them. In each of the wheel wells, you've got this singular 10mm nut here. You'll want to undo that as well. And push this nut through. To unplug the lights, there's this little white clip here. This one simply open it up a little bit and it will come out. And then you can unplug your fog light plug like so. For the cable holders, you've got 5 of them. 1 here, 1 in the center, 1 to the right, and another 2 to the left. For the sake of the filming, we can't get to the one above the fog light, so I'll undo this one. They just slide off. Now that we've unclipped all your wiring harness from the bar, we are able to remove the front bar. Pull this to the side to avoid scratching it with the bolt. The same on the other side, and the bar comes off. So continuing on removing the bumper framing, you've got these 2 14mm bolts here, 4 14mm bolts here. You're going to want to undo these ones. I've left these 2 14mm bolts here as the wiring plug for the fog lights runs up behind here. This one you can stick your hand in and unplug, like so. We can undo these 2 bolts here to take this main framing off and then unplug the main wiring harness for the fog lights. Now that all the bolts are undone and the plugs are undone for the wiring harness, we can remove this top bracket piece, like so. For these brackets up here, you'll just be wanting to undo this back bolt. You'll need your 17mm spanner. You can put it on the bottom nut of this bolt and grab your 17mm socket on the top and undo it. You can grab the bar from either side. It will simply slide out like so. In order to mount the cradle for our bull bar system, this factory tie down point needs to come off. There's 2 bolts here and 1 behind here. We're going to remove this plastic shroud just to give you easier access to the rear bolt here. So you'll grab your 12mm socket. There's 2 more bolts at the back here. Again, your 12mm. So now that we've got this plastic trim removed here, you can get access to your 3 bolts for the factory tie down point there. I'm using a breaker bar because these could be fairly tight. And the hardware that comes with the Bull Bar, you've got 6 bolts with 6 nuts, 12 big washers. These are for mounting the Bull Bar to the cradle itself. For mounting the cradle to the chassis, you've got 8 of the same M10 bolts and 2 of the longer bolts. It should be noted that of the nuts that are supplied in the kit, 2 of them have a different thread pattern, which matches these 2 long bolts. So just be cautious that when you're putting it together, you match up the right nut to the right bolt. Now we have everything taken off the front of the Cruiser. We can put the cradle on. This one will just slide onto the front of the chassis here. Using these 2 long bolts, you will just line it up and slide that one through. It'll come through to the bottom. Make sure you take your second washer off. Slide that one through. Repeat the process with the other side. And then grab your washer and nut on the bottom. We can just do these ones finger tight until we line the other side bolts up. For these side bolts, you'll grab your little M10 bolts. These will slide or screw into the side here in the already existing threaded sections. For the wiring harness for the indicator lights on the Bull Bar, you will be required to tap into the factory wiring harness of the car's headlights. For this, you will need to remove your airbox and your battery. The wiring on here, you've got the green for your indicators, your red is the Parker lights, the black's the negative, and the white's your daytime running lights. Because the Cruisers don't have the daytime running lights on them, this one will not be required. We've come to installing the Bull Bar onto the cradle. You've got 3 mounting holes on this side and 3 mounting holes on that side. They're elongated, so you get ample adjustment out of them. When you're putting the bolts through the Bull Bar into the cradle, it's easier to go from the inside out. So you can put the nut, you have ample room for your hand to get in there with the nut. With the harness that we took off the car when we were removing the bumper, you can use that and plug that into your fog lights here. It's a case of just lining up the plugs, like so. Like that. Your white plug here, you've already wired into the headlights of the car for the Parkers and the indicators. So that one, when the bar's on the car, we can plug that back in as well. Now that we're up to the part of putting the Bull Bar onto the cradle, it's easy if you grab 2 mates just to give you a hand to lift it on. So we can pick this one up now. I can lift it over the side. And then with your bolts here, you can put them through the holes. So for this bash plate bracket, you're going to undo this lower cradle mounting bolt. This bracket will slide in behind the washer, and then you can do the bracket back up. For your front bash plate for the Bull Bar, you've got 5mm Allen screws here. So we can attach this one now. You've got 3 nutserts in the bar itself, which will use a 5mm Allen key bolt. And then on the back brackets, which are here, you've got, again, a 5mm Allen key bolt with a 10mm nut on the end of it. There we have it. We've got the Bull Bar on the 79 series. Thank you for watching the video. I hope to see you again next time.